want to say if there's something you want to do, chase it with all your passion, put your mind to it, and good things can happen. If that's watching Steelers football, good things can happen. But in today's video, I will be talking about, I don't want to talk about it, but the big question, right? Or the big elephant in the room still. It's the Matt Canada play calling, and it's Mitchell Trubisky. This to me will be a hot topic all week in the short week until the Steelers go and figure it out, right? I know we talked about it a few days ago in the live stream and stuff like that, but when I was streaming the game, I was just absolutely fed up with what happened, okay? But before I start, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, please feel free to hit that sub and that like. I'm trying to get to 700 subs. I'm on 686 right now. My goal is to get to 700 and then, of course, 750. And then as every YouTuber pretty much on YouTube, their ultimate goal is to get to monetization. So I'm trying to get to monetization. And if you're not a fan of Google, I will then rob Google from all their money. So if you're a fan of my content, hit that sub. All right, without further ado, right? I wanted to bring up some few quotes from the players talking about the Matt Canada offense. And, we brought up this picture too a few days ago. This was the pass chart that Mitchell Trubisky was throwing around the field. There are literally no deep passes. I can maybe count 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 passes beyond 20 yards, right? And the players were asked after practice the other day, and we'll start with Deontay Johnson because we have Deontay Johnson, Claypool, and Trubisky talking about the play selection, Matt Canada, and talking about, why aren't they throwing deeper passes? So Deontay Johnson had this to say. He said, we have to call the right plays down the field in the right ways. Isn't that interesting? I want to also point out too, I don't know that any other teams are really getting asked around the league. Let me know in the comments below if you have heard any other teams like the Cardinals, surely not the Dolphins with Tua slinging the football around the field. Lamar Jackson, even he's throwing the football down the field. I feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers are the only team in the NFL that reporters are asking the question, why isn't your quarterback throwing the football down the field? I feel like we're the only one because I saw the game today as well with Kirk Cousins, Vikings, and versus Jalen Hurts. You have a spare 30 minutes, go and watch the highlights, and you'll see how different our offense, being a Steelers offense, is compared in comparison to those two teams. They're more free-flowing. They attack the middle of the field. They actually attack the sidelines as well with some deeper route concepts. Okay, I'm not a coach. I don't claim to be. But what I see is pretty much this visual, what I showed you the other day. Everything's being checked down. Absolutely every single pass has been checked down to 10, maybe 15, 12 yards, maybe, right? Or behind the line of scrimmage. And the players are now being asked about this in the locker room. So firstly, with Deontay Johnson saying, we've got to call the right plays down the field in the right ways. So that to me sounds like a bit of frustration. Does it not sound like a bit of frustration? The next player who was asked this similar question, Chase Claypool had this response. We can only do what they tell us to do and execute it, right? Also does sound like a little bit of frustration. Now, I wasn't in the locker room. I'm here stuck in Australia, right? But it sounds like a little bit of frustration. And if you go back and watch the tape as well, over the last 2 weeks, I have seen Fryermuth put his hands up in the air and say, far out, man, I was open. I've seen Deontay Johnson get frustrated with the play calling and maybe not being past the football in certain routes. And I've seen George Pickens also wide open and not being targeted. And then also after the play being frustrated. So it comes down to, is it a choice where, Canada, it's all Canada's fault, or is it Mitchell Trubisky? I find it's probably both. I think Trubisky is on the back foot. I think he's being hesitant to throw. I don't think he's clear in his position, in his routes. I don't think he has trust in his ability or is confident in his throw. I just don't see it. And Matt Canada isn't putting him in the best position to win either, right? And now our quarterback, Trubisky, because he's still number one for now until the Kenny chants come out, right? He said he had this to say on the idea. He said the core concepts to get receivers there. So he wants to call plays pretty much. That's what it's saying. He wants to call concepts to get receivers there. Is he not throwing Canada under the bus? He was asked the question, why don't you throw deeper passes? Why don't you throw, better routes to the middle of the field? And he said, well, we need to call concepts to get there. So is he saying passing the buck, pushing the way, and putting it all in Canada? It sure does look like it, doesn't it? Right? It sure does look like that. Now, also, I wanted to bring up too, another part of the offense, which is, vital to the offense, is Mason Cole. And he was asked about, the leadership or Mitch's play. And he had this to say, I don't think there's any doubt with Mitch, Cole said Monday. We know the kind of player Mitch is. Mitch is a winner. He's won this league. He's won for this offense already. I highly doubt that. Everyone in the locker room, everyone in the organization believes in Mitch. Now, when you get put on the spot, I don't think the center, Mason Cole, is going to absolutely bag him out like us, like fans like me have on Steeler Nation. I don't think if I was Mason Cole and someone asked me, do you believe in Mitchell Trubisky? What do you think? Are you happy with his play, his leadership style in the offense? I don't think Mason Cole could come out and say, nah, mate, he's absolutely rubbish. I think he's terrible. I don't like the way he's throwing the football. He just can't say that, right? So I don't add too much value to that. But what I do add value to is the two receivers that I highlighted before with Deontay and Claypool, right? We can only do what they tell us to do and execute it. So this becomes a problem. Is there drama in the locker room? Is there drama with these receivers not getting the ball? Pickens is throwing his hands up. Freiermuth is also throwing his hands up saying, I'm not getting the ball, right? And for the past 2 weeks, I was giving Trubisky a shot and this Matt Canada system a shot. But right now, I have absolute no faith that they can get it done. And when we go to verse the Browns on Thursday Night Football, my Friday, I have no faith. And I think, to me, that's okay. Do you know why? Go out there and prove it to me what you can do as a Steelers player. Okay? Mitchell Trubisky is throwing the football only 5 yards per attempt. 5 yards. That's check down style. It's absolutely average. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you happy with this offense? I am not happy with the offense at all. We can't run the football. Trubisky is playing scaredy cat back there. He's not being a leader. Now, will they go ahead and change Trubisky to Kenny Pickett? Probably not. I don't think so. Now, if Trubisky goes out and plays the exact same way in the Browns, will the fans be calling for his head? Probably so. I think so. Anyways, guys, thank you for checking out Steeler Nation Australia. And as always, here we go, Steelers. Wait. One last thing. Before I say here we go, Steelers. Make sure if you made it this far to the very end of the video, make sure you hit that like and hit that sub. All right, I'll see you guys later.